This is my new terrain generator. This is version 43. Did a lot of updates on this one. The main thing I got going was the grass and the detail tiles. I used the shader to do the grass, create instances of the grass so that it would be gentler on the frames per second and just easier to manage overall, because the grass really isn't going to be interactive. So what I did is, this is the terrain generator, and you could create a new terrain. In the settings here, you got all the different settings, standard settings, and you could do different world sizes. Each chunk is 241 vertices wide, and if you go over the world size over 241, then it does multiple terrain chunks. We'll just do a 241 for now. So you could do that and click colored terrain, which will show, actually I'll show you. That just does a colored terrain using colors from default color settings. And then if you want to do a textured terrain, it'll actually apply textures, and these will be based off of textures you can load, and all the different settings. I used Sebastian Log's tutorial and did some heavy tweaking, because his was a endless procedural terrain. And it was from the editor, Unity editor. I wanted a standalone terrain generator. But so anyways, you can create the terrain, and then once you click show map, it'll show you the terrain. You can do a fly cam, so you can fly around and check it out, see how it looks. Everything looks cool. And then you can click on the show water, and it'll turn the water on and off. The water's a little high, so you could turn it down a little bit, click it off, and then click it back on. It'll use the new height that you put in there. That looks better. It gives you some beach. And then the other thing is, you could use we'll set this to 150. Use the player toggle to turn the player on and off, so you can see how it looks with the player running around on it. And that all looks cool there. And you can see the export terrain is inactive right now. You can't export the terrain when the player's running around on it. It'll cause errors. So in order to export it, you got to turn the player off and then click export terrain. So that just created a folder. You'll be able to load it. And that's 11/18, that's today. So now it reloaded the terrain, and that allows you to use object settings and tile settings, which you can't do when you're when you're creating the terrain. You can't do that. It just lags out so bad that I split it so to make it. Okay, I don't know what just happened there, but split it so that you create the terrain, and then you export it, and then you load it to actually edit the terrain or modify it with grass and stuff like that. So if you go to the object settings, you could add your grass, and every time you click that, it'll add this grass object with these settings. And I got it pretty much defaulted to settings that I liked to make it easy there. So everything's good there. And if you want to change it, to like 20, you see the frames per second is over 500. Change it to 20 and click update, and the grass will get thicker, but it dropped your frame rate down a little bit. So 8 was pretty good. I thought 8 looked good. Then what I like to do is add another one, change the color to an orange color for like a dead grass kind. Change the number per try, which is actually numbers per quad. I'm using quads. The spread's the same. The place chance is down. We'll knock that down to 40. And the start height, the height range will be from 10.5 to 11.6. That'll be one under the regular grass and one above it. And then click update, and now you see it drew. It's drawn the dead style of grass down lower and a little bit higher than the green grass. You see it's kind of wavy, pretty. So that's that's the grass settings there. What I'm going to do, turn the player off. I'm going to jump him up to the upper area up here. This is a nice area to do a tile, show some tiles. And with the tiles, I tried using Mega Splat and Micro Splat, but for some reason I just couldn't get them working for me. And plus, I wanted to write my own. That way you have 100% control over it. Like getting Micro Splat or Mega Splat to work in my own terrain generator, it'd be I'm sure it wouldn't be a fun thing to try to do. So it's just easier to write my own, which I'm sure is not as efficient or look as good as that, but for my purposes it'll work. So basically these are all default tiles. I got like a brick, cobblestone, granite, marble, hard dirt, which is hard dirt's pretty cool. But basically when you place it, it'll clear the grass around it, not only on the quad that you're placing the tile on, but around it also, because if I left the grass like right here, it would go inside the tile because of the grass spread. So I decided just to clear the grass around the tiles too. And then the wood one's pretty cool too. It's like a wood plank look with my little nails. But that'd be cool for like a frontier setting, frontier town or something. And then of course you could change the tile textures. It'll load them. If you click it, you can load a different tile, which I don't have any other tiles, but this one here is this was going to be like a worn path look. And you got, that's a cross there. It's hard to see it in the texture there, but that's a cross for like a intersection. And then this is the horizontal going each way. This one's a vertical. If you zoom in, basically it's just like a little worn path. And then my favorite one right now is just a regular stone square. Place a few of these, and I'm going to turn the water on. I like the water. The water is Aqua's 2020. Aqua's 2020 is what I use for that. It was easy, real easy to implement, cheap, and I tried writing my own. It was taking too long when his looks good. Gives the foam around the beach and a lot of settings, so it looks good. But we finished the tiles here. Do this tile setup. I got rounded tiles. I need to add some diagonal tiles too, so that I could do a diagonal road, not just horizontal and vertical, or X and Z roads. So that's what the stone tiles look like. I thought those came out pretty good. So that's what the tiles look like there. And once you get done, click off player, and you could export this now. And so the first time we exported it, it saved the terrain, and then we loaded it and added the grass and added the tiles, and we exported that. So now when you go back to load terrain and reselect the original one, it'll load the terrain with the tiles and the grass all saved. So basically for like map loading, you know, you have all your maps created, and you'll be able to save them and then load them in game. And right now that's where I'm at. That took me 5 months to get here. It was a lot of learning, a lot of shader learning. Had to tweak a lot of shaders, write my own grass shader. I bought a ton of grass assets, but again, the problem, a lot of them looked really good, but getting them inside my own terrain generator, customizable like what I have here, was impossible. Same thing with the tiles, the details. Mega splat, micro splat, it would have been great to use them, but I just using them inside my own terrain generator was too much. I also bought Vegetation Studio Pro, which I love the look of it, but I want to be able to implement it in my own standalone terrain generator. So my next the next update, I'm going to start adding flower objects, trees, boulders, rocks, resources, stuff like that, which that should be a lot easier to implement than all this stuff was. So anyways, that'll be my next update. Thank you for watching.